starting to get the boat ready for shipping.
Next we're gonna take this awesome tape,
Dr. Shrink preservation tape,
and we're going to tape up all of our hatches so they don't, for some weird reason, flip up in the air or anything when the shipper ships Hope.
This stuff is awesome. It is weatherproof to some degree, and it doesn't leave film the way like duct tape would, and it is far more robust than duct tape. Cleans up very easily and will stay adhered for a long time.
Trying to see what Michael's up to. Hi everybody. Michael and I are taking our last sail here on the lake. That is the last sail before we take the sails down and do more preparation for boat shipping to Florida.
Yeah, and it's pretty light today, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's in the 50s. Hardly anyone is out here. I think we saw one boat and ran into a friend. Yeah, it's really peaceful.
Right now we're just flying the main because we have a tight little tack here once to get out of the cove, and then once we do that, then we can get the Genoa up and it'll be real fun in these light winds.
How do you feel on this last sail?
It was nice. I mean, it's always nice to sail. We were just lamenting the fact that recently our last couple of sails have been in very, very light wind. So it would be, we're hoping that, not hoping, but our next sail will, well, I guess we'll have to move the boat, so we don't know what kind of conditions we'll have for that. But it would be nice to have a little bit more wind so we can feel the boat and shake the boat out and let it do its thing. But yeah, Hope's good. It was a fun sail.
How fast did we go today?
Our highest was 3.8 knots, was it? Yeah, 3.8 knots, which is pretty slow. No, for these kinds of winds, it was actually quite good.
Respectable, yeah.
Definitely respectable. All right, so we're back from our low wind sail, and we're gonna pack up the sails now. So the first thing we have to do is we need to get our stack pack off, and then we'll remove the battens one by one from the mainsail, and then once we get it all the way down, then we can actually remove the mainsail from the boom and from the mast, and we'll flake it and put it away. Then after that, we'll clean up the Genoa. We'll pull that down off the furler and flake it. The Genoa should go pretty easy. We just need to remove our sheet lines, and that's pretty much it. So there's way less to do with the Genoa than the main, but it'll still go pretty quick. We're gonna just let a little bit of a light rain pass over really quickly, make some coffee, warm up from being out there in the chilliness. Yeah, we gotta get the pup. Yeah. Thumbs up. Cleaning hardware from the deck. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to finish coiling up some of these lines. We're just going to leave the main sheet attached so the boom doesn't fly all over the place and whack us in the head until we take the boom down. But other than that, we're going to clear the rest of the lines and get them stowed. Break the back of the bowline.
Sounds violent.
It is kind of violent. The boom will be coming off, but until then, we just want to make sure it stays secure. We tied off the boom. We have a couple of cleats back there, so we utilize those to tie off the boom so it doesn't swing and whack us in the head. It's also good to protect the gooseneck. Even though there's no weight on the sail, you don't want it whacking around. So now I've already kind of partially removed the main sheet. So now I'm just removing the main sheet, block and tackle, so that we can clear the deck, get everything ready for the boom to come down in a couple of days. I'm gonna need, actually I'll just get this off right here, because otherwise I'd need a tool, but I want to keep that shackle on anyway. Now we need to clear the line from the furling drum. There's a nice little knot on top that will break that when we have a little bit more tension taken out of the line. It's just like you're going sailing, only we're gonna pull the whole line out. And we have another line that we need to clean. But yeah, now we just need to flake this and stow it, and we're good to go. We are going to be pulling all of these cotter pins on the boom thing. We've got just a couple, but we do need to get these snatch blocks off, and we'll pull this gooseneck as well for the boom thing. Completely clear this. We will probably just bag this up and keep it down below. I don't feel good about leaving anything that could rattle itself off. I don't want to keep that on the mast as it's flying down the road at 70, 75 miles an hour. I don't know how fast our driver will go, but you know, that's within a realm of possibility. Then of course, we need to clear these pins, and the big one is this cotter pin here that is then seizing this bolt in, which threads the gooseneck. So all of this will have to come off so that we can actually remove the gooseneck from the boom, and well, actually the boom from the gooseneck. And yeah, and then we also, it's a great time to inspect some things. Like you can see in here, the sheaves are worn. They still spin, but there's some corrosion on them, so we'll probably end up replacing those. And then this thing, my guess is that we've got stainless steel touching the aluminum here, so we've got some oxidation here, which is pretty nasty. Other than that, I think we're looking pretty good. So with all these parts, I always like to put them back together so that you know not only where they go, but at least you know that you're not going to lose them, which is clearly important. And if I didn't chew my nails, these clips would be easier to get on and off. Dirty little secret. As you can see, this one up here is just a single clevis pin and ring, so that'll come off a little bit more smoothly. So now we're just gonna get the gooseneck ready to come off. We've got this pin here. And then we've actually got the gooseneck bolt. And this is gonna be a little tricky. Now we go get Esther. So to talk this through really fast, what we'll end up doing is we'll let out on the topping lift and lower the aft end of the boom, and this will be after I get Esther's help. And now the gooseneck parts are disassembled, so the gooseneck will just pop straight up off the boom, and then we'll be able to lower the boom to the deck. Nice and simple, should go really smoothly. And this is just to show that you can see that we packed all the gooseneck equipment down below. So we're just gonna keep things bare. It just makes it easier. We don't have to worry about things rattling loose. And then when it comes to actually shipping, I am going to clean up, obviously, the topping lift and get that out of the way. I'm going to do a better job of actually cleaning up all the halyards. But we'll leave them in. We'll just wrap them nice and tight. One of the things that we will do, and we'll point this out when we actually do this after the mast is out, is we will have remnant carpet, and we'll make sure that we wrap remnant carpet at any point where these things could rattle up against metal. We'll probably free the halyards actually from these positions. We won't keep them there, but we will clean all of this area up, and we'll make sure that all of this equipment is wrapped, including our winches, with carpet and then shrink wrapped. Basically anything that can chafe up along the way. The spreaders will end up coming off. We'll completely remove all of the stays and shrouds and get those out of the way. Staysail stay will completely come off. Remove the furling gear, and we'll remove the foils so that that can just be packed neatly away. And then as far as the main jib furler, I'm still not sure. Since we're going to be re-rigging anyway, I might just want to just completely disassemble the mainsail furler as well. Also get the foils off and completely unstay it. And then we'll just basically wrap the mast. That's one less thing to have to really worry about. But then the other side of it is we might want to keep it in place just to make measurements easier later, or we could take the measurements before we go. But that'll all be determined as we move along in the next couple of days. Well, we're about 12 days from shipping, so I'll be thinking about how we want to handle that. Quite literally, all of these cotter pins that are in our turnbuckle system, we will leave these cotter pins, as I had mentioned, on the clevis pin. I will, though, these are kind of bent back, and again, since there's really no fear that this will come apart, I'm going to take and just kind of straighten these so that they're easier to pull that morning. One less thing to worry about. And then that way we don't have to completely detune the rig to get it off. You know, you pay for the crane by the hour. So it's best to make that as painless as possible while you're paying for it. Well, here I don't think we're paying for it by the hour, but it's good practice, because once we get to Florida, putting the mast up, it's $220 an hour for the crane. And we don't want to overrun an hour, because obviously that would get very expensive. So right now, thankfully, we just have some easy kind of days just to get things started, so that we're not trying to do everything at once.
Exactly. Cool.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
No.
I spoke entirely.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm ready to go back inside.
Yeah.
And this is what Bowie does. Especially when it's such a easy sail. I'm sorry to interrupt.